What is the authority on veganism? I mean, who gets to say what, who or what says what veganism is or isn't? What exactly details what veganism is all about? So this is the question. So I think to begin, the first thing to start with is this idea of what is an authority to begin with. So an authority would be anything that has essentially authoritative command, meaning it is essentially a comprehensive understanding of what a certain thing is. And so that could be, say, like a book or like a manual, or it could be a person who is very knowledgeable about a particular subject, so much so that they are considered to be an authority. They're something that stands out as having, that understands something front to back, side to side, up and down, left, right, you name it. And so that is essentially what we would call something that is an authority, something that has this comprehensive understanding. And so as far as veganism goes, I'm actually not sure what constitutes, the authority in veganism. And so therefore, I think, though, it is important to have such a thing, for there to be an authority, so that we don't get any kind of misconceptions about what veganism is and what veganism isn't. It needs to be spelled out so that people, at least for people who are trying to understand what that is, can reference that as the understanding that we're working with specifically. And so this is a video for vegans by a vegan such as myself, and it is just no holds barred. I mean, it is just saying it very straight, because it's a thing like, it's not polite to talk about veganism in front of non-vegans. That is one of the things that's important to know, that it's you have to be very careful. It's a very touchy subject for a lot of people, and so it has to be approached with a lot of care and compassion and delicacy, because it's a very challenging, triggering subject for a lot of people. And so but there also needs to be a place where people who are passionate about this, who are ready to hear these kinds of things, can hear them to help sort out the ideas that they have in their heads, so that if and when the time does come for them to share some of these things, they don't have mixed up ideas, and they're not kind of saying things that aren't really helping anything. I mean, it's important to have your facts straight and to have a good idea of what it is that you're talking about, to know what you're talking about, not just talk about what you know about or what you feel you might be passionate about, but you have to have a little bit more than that, especially if you're going to talk about something as serious as veganism. And so what is the vegan authority? Well, all I can say is that if veganism ever wanted a spokesperson, I put my hand up. I do believe that I have the understanding of what it is. In my years of being vegan, which is a mere 12 years on this planet, I have never come across anyone or anything that I felt had some understanding of what this means that superseded my own. I've never found anyone who has spoken about it in the depth, I've done the research, I've written about it, and I've developed my understanding of it significantly over time. And so all I can say is that if veganism needed a person to stand up and say, hey, this is what it is and this is what it isn't, and this is what we need to focus on, and this is what we need to avoid, because this isn't helping anything. It needs to be handled in a very mature manner. And so I nominate myself as the vegan authority. Just meaning, like, just a little background is that this was going to be a YouTube channel on its own. But the thing is, I already have a channel with a following, and people know what I'm about, and so I just felt it is January, so it is Veganuary, and this is Vegan Awareness Month. This is a time where vegans can be a little more vocal about what they believe in and what they think is important. And so it's an important time, because it is something that means a lot to a lot of us. It's not just it's not a diet. A diet has almost nothing to do with it, and this is one of these things. It is a civil rights movement that exists amongst humans for animals, and it's based on the idea that animals have rights. They have the right to raise their families and to live free from oppression and fear of being murdered or taken advantage of or exploited, and raise their families and interact with their own kind without any human intervention. You know, any intervention that is unwarranted, that is unnecessary. And so that is essentially the basis of what veganism. It's a civil rights movement. It has almost nothing to do with diet. And this is one of the first things that is very important to point out. I mean, but that's what we're going to do here, is spell it out a little more clearly for anybody who wants to know, because animal lives matter. I mean, so this is the thing too. You know, there was a movement, or there was or is a movement with the African American people, and it is Black Lives Matter, and absolutely. And during this time, it was important for us, even though we're like, hey, all lives matter, we had to bite our tongues, right? And then it's the same thing here in Canada with residential schools and the mass graves of the American Indian people that they found. And it's like, every child matters. And it's like, for vegans, it's like, yeah, every life matters, right? But not to detract from any other movements. You just have to bite your tongue and wait your turn. But I don't know of any movements right now where it's not appropriate to say, hey, you know what? Animal lives matter. Every life matters. And it's more important than ever, because there's I think an estimated, it's in the trillions of how many animals die per year for food. And so it's very important to recognize that a lot of it gets wasted too. And so, anyways, I think that is enough for there, you know, that without getting too drawn into it, that essentially explains where I'm coming from and where I'm going with this. This is the first of a number of videos that I will be putting out this month of January, because it's important to me and other people. So stay tuned, and please like and subscribe, because it really helps the channel. Thank you very much.